Hey guys, and welcome to yet another showdown of legendary might between myself, a Rubber Ducker War, up against S1 Niforas. S1 Niforas is what we're going to go for, as the Warriors of Chaos take on the Dark Elves. Both these guys have been arguing for quite some time on who is the edgiest. Both of them love skulls, both of them love spikes, so we're going to have to settle this the old-fashioned way with a big old fat juicy fight. Now our build is, to say the least, an interesting build rather than an amazing build. Our main battle line consists of just 3 units of Chaos Marauders, so not too much going on there. We do have 1 unit of Chaos Spawn just behind them, just for a bit of added flavour as well. I think they look pretty cool, although very, very disgusting, and having an unbreakable unit might not be too terrible in my build, because their main job today is to be an anvil, because I have a bucket ton of cavalry. And that is something Chaos is known for, but more from their skirmish cav in the recent meta, rather than the cavalry I have indeed brought today, which is the Chaos Knights with Lances, and these guys love 2 things. Death and skulls, and they have plenty of skulls on them. Now they need to do is just bring the death. They are the lance variety, being escorted by Chaos Warhounds. In case my opponent has any skirmish, Chaos Warhounds are very rapid. I can hopefully slow down the enemy and allow the Chaos Knights to bring the pain. On the right-hand side, once again, we have Chaos Knights with Lances and some Warhounds, but to add to that, we have the Swords of Chaos Regiment around, who will indeed give guard in, as well as a bit of a speed boost to Archaon the Ever-Chosen leading the battle line, and his ever-loyal double exalted hero. Archaon the Ever-Chosen coming in with Fireball, Cascading Fire Cloak, as well as a Burning Head. So all the goodies. Slayer of Kings is, of course, going to be active, and the exalted heroes will be coming with Mark of Khorne, and that is about it. As for my opponent, he does have some sneaky shades hiding in the trees over on the left-hand side. We also have Dark Riser Repeater Crossbows on the left and Dark Riser Repeater Crossbows on the right. 1 lone Ferromanticore flying high in the skies, and then we have a load of Blackheart Corsairs and Dread Spears all the way along the front, which is a nice mix, right? The Blackheart Corsairs should be able to deal with Marauders comfortably, whereas the Dread Spears should hopefully be able to deal with some of the larger threats I've brought to the battlefield. We do have triple Dark Shards in the central core, protected by double Dread Spears, and then up in the skies, down in the ground. I don't know why. If this creature could fly, I'd be very worried. We have the knockoff Hydra, so we have the little knockoff Hydra here with its anti-large, which is quite nice. It does certainly dish out quite a bit of damage, but does not have regeneration. We then have Lokir Felheart leading the charge. He is coming in with a bucket ton of items, no doubt. The Merciless Slaver, of course, has murderous prowess like all Dark Elves, Foe Seeker, Dread Duelist, as well as Deadly Onslaught. And we have the Sisters of Singing Doom. Sisters of Singing Doom, very scary indeed, due to the fact they can rampage. And I think our opponent is just being a straight-up Chad and not bringing a caster. It doesn't look like he's brought a caster. I didn't notice this during the game when I was playing him, but straight Chad moves. Lokir Felheart is for the strong, casters and petty magic is indeed for the weak. Without further ado, let's get this battle underway. Now down on the right hand side, I do immediately spot some Dark Riders, and the fight is on. So we have the Chaos Warhounds popping forward. They have the Crown of Domination on them right now, giving them that immune psychology and extra leadership. So they should be able to touch with these guys, poison them slightly, drag them down, allow the Knights and Archaon and the Exalted Heroes to catch up to bring the pain. And we are managing to catch my opponent's doing a good job of spam clicking these guys to freedom and trying to fall back where possible, though he does have a little lapse there before moving back again. And we're doing some pretty decent damage. Archaon is now running with the Hounds, howling like a madman in the night, hunting down the Dark Riser and some really nice damage. It looks like we may be able to break this unit on the right-hand side, whereas on the left, once again, we are getting nice and aggressive, trying to hunt down the second year of Dark Riders and force them back. However, we are now in bow range, which is pretty scary. There's a lot of Dark Shards here, and they can certainly rain down a decent amount of damage to us. So we're currently just trying to kill as many Dark Riders as physically possible, and also drive forward here with even more Chaos Warhounds, just trying to finish off the enemy range skirmish, because it could be very problematic for us in the later stages of the game. We're going to be falling back with all our Knights, with all our Warhounds, and just chasing through this 1 unit of Chaos Warhounds, whose main job is going to be to hunt down that unit of Dark Riders who is fleeing. I want to try to hop on top of them and break their bones. Chaos Knights get very close to charging into a spear wall and go, you know what, it's probably not the best idea, and they decide to fall back instead and go to the safety of the trees, a tactic I approve of. Now at this point I was like, what on earth is killing my Chaos Marauders? Why are they getting so weak? I'm just looking in the trees looking for something, and then I noticed these pesky little shades in the back doing a relatively decent amount of damage to us. My opponent gets a little bit cheeky. He comes down the Chaos Ferromanticore to try to hammer home the Chaos Marauders. Now, this is fantastic play, but you've got to be careful. I have so much mass nearby, so much fast-moving mass, in the form of Knights, in the form of Heroes, in the form of Chaos Spawn, that we whack the Manticore hard enough, it's out of control, and boom, just like that, my opponent doesn't have a caster, and he doesn't have a monster anymore. So, really good start from me. We've shot down some of the Dark Riders, and the Swords of Chaos also are going to pile on to the Shades, just starting to slaughter them as fire burns around them. The Shades shall die in their droves. They're trying to hold the line, but we've got Chaos Warhounds popping over here as well. It's not going to be a good day for the Shades. Now, our Marauders have managed to rally, and we can start moving towards the main fight now. In the distance, the Chaos Warhounds have finally escorted those Dark Riders off the battlefield, and they're going to start to come back. So a few mistakes early on from my opponent. We punished them, we shattered the Manticore, we killed one unit of Dark Riders, plus we killed the Shades, who kind of revealed their hand a little bit too early, particularly due to the mass amount of cavalry and Warhounds I had on the battlefield. So they're going to get shut down for sure, but can my opponent come back? There certainly is the possibility. Dark Riders are starting to poke down Chaos Knights, and the main battle lines are now moving together. Oh my god, my camera flicked back somehow there. But the Chaos Marauders will be engaged now with the Sisters of Singing Doom, as well as the knockoff Hydra, and the Loki Felheart's getting in here as well. So our front line isn't exactly going to hold for a very long time. In fact, that's a matter of seconds, and I tried to pop Burning Head, but unfortunately, because we broke so quickly, the Sisters of Singing Doom actually escaped the worst of the damage, and the Burning Head's not quite far back enough to hit the Black Ark Corsair, so instead, it's just going to kill a load of Chaos Marauders, which probably isn't what Archaon intended. We're trying to whip our Swords of Chaos up and around the flanks. My opponent's doing a pretty damn good job screening with his Dread Spears. Luckily, the Chaos Warhounds should be able to jump on the Dark Shards and start to shut them down. Now, we're really starting to run out of troops. Of course, our army wasn't very big in the first place, but the Chaos Knights and Lancers, plus Exiled Heroes and Archaon, are trying to kill these goddamn Dread Spears as quickly as possible. I'm like, die, die, die. I want you off the field so I can turn and engage the Black Ark Corsairs. Knockoff Hydra is going to get surrounded now by Chaos Spawn. Once again, using their mass relatively effectively. Just surrounding him and trying to beat him down. So it does look like we have Dark Riders just lurking in the trees for now. Unfortunately for me, the Chaos Warhounds can't chase them because they're running for their lives. Really decent damage to the Dark Shards, but they were able to rally due to the help of the Dread Spears, and more of our Chaos Warhounds have been forced off in the trees. Luckily, we do indeed have the Swords of Chaos, who can kind of rampage back over here and start bringing the pain. At this point, I'm trying to spam click so hard, although it does look like Loki Felheart or a Black Ark Corsair is getting in my way, but Archaon as well as Exalted Hero, I noticed my opponent's large monster is isolated and alone, so I'm going to be charging in trying to slay the fell beast. And Archaon, with all his buffs, particularly when he pops Slayer of Kings and stuff, can quite comfortably kill these kind of creatures, though he does decide instead to absolutely yeet into some Black Ark Corsairs. I'm going to be spam clicking him though, trying to get him back on track to drag down the beastie. We also pop Cascade and Fire Cloak on to our Glorious Chaos Spawn, giving them an extra melee defense, and also the armor piercing can be quite nice and tasty. Unfortunately for me, my Chaos Knights have been rampaged here. Great usage of the Sisters of Singing Doom from my opponent, just dragging in my Knights. These guys were actually wrapping up and around to shut down the Dark Shards, but they get enticed in by the lovely ladies and put to sleep, which is less good for them, unfortunately. A load of troops for us do continue to try to rally him back in the form of Chaos Warhounds, but my opponent keeps fending them off with his own cavalry, and a lot of our other units are starting to run for their lives. We've surrounded the mighty beast, and we are trying to drag it down. Loki Felheart is getting down and dirty, trying to slap up Archaon, who turns around and pushes aside the Pretender, and Exalted Heroes get in here, do some nice work. So we do pop a Burning Head, but this time it actually does catch stuff, doing some relatively, really nice damage actually to the Dread Spears, looking to try and break and tear them away. However, the Dark Shards are starting to pour on that damage, and it's hurting quite a bit right now. Swords of Chaos are trying their best to save their leader, who's just knee-deep right now in enemies, and the Chaos do get, unfortunately, Rampage, Swords of Chaos, and Chaos Spawn. Loki Felheart is having a fantastic day. Even one of my Exiled Heroes is unfortunately trapped as more Dread Spears come in. A perfect combo. Anti-Large plus the Rampage, penning in my large threats. But Archaon, he's going to get out of there. He's still kept his cool. Exiled Hero, likewise, is going to be hunting down the wannabe Hydra. Need to get off the field as quickly as possible. In the back, my opponent does have a few units rallying and coming back to the fight to the Dark Riders and the Dread Spears. They once again finish off the Chaos Warhounds, but we are back, baby, looking to try to pop in here and once again just be annoying. Just be annoying as much as possible, hunt down the Dark Shards, and make this fight hard for my opponent, because he's definitely in the state of advantage right now. Despite some early mistakes which were punished, he's come back really nicely here with some beautiful target priority, and more importantly, his Sisters of Singing Doom play has been real top-notch. His old hero keeps trying to flee and get out of there, but he's, he's but a man, and he keeps getting dragged in by the Sisters of Singing Doom. Chaos Spawn as well are doing a bit of a retreat here, as I'm trying to reposition my battle lines the best I can. Now, Archaon has managed to shut down some of the back line. He also pops a burning head down on the other unit of Dark Shards, really trying to roast the enemy range power and turn this into just a big old fat scrap that maybe, just maybe, if I get like a burning head or I can get those splash attacks of the Slayer of Kings, I might be able to drive down the infantry. But things are looking really bleak right now. We have 65 models against 481. That is not something you want to be told if you're anyone, but particularly Warriors of Chaos going into Dark Elves. If you outnumber that badly, it's probably not gone too well. Chaos Warhounds do feast upon the souls of some Dark Shards, which is really nice. We're going to instantly bounce to the second unit of Dark Shards, trying to shut them down. My opponent is going to pull his forces back in an attempt to protect them. The Exalted Hero is returning, likewise are the Chaos Spawn, and I've got the other hero as well. So we still have our Hero Doom Squad, which is, though it looks bleak, still very powerful, and is still a lot of our money and investment in this build in general. Swords of Chaos are barely clinging on. They really want to go home, and it looks like they are going to do just that. They just spy the enemy, and they're like, no, I'm not fighting that today, and they decide to cowardly fall back and betray Archaon. So as Sing and Doom do mop up some of the remaining Chaos Spawn, I'm attempting to jump the Dark Shards, and I'm just going for a Hail Mary right here. I'm just chucking all my troops in, looking to drag down as many Dark Elves as I can, and I'm saving up desperately for a Burning Head. But at this point, I had like 8 Winds of Magic, and I needed 10 for a Burning Head. I was like, no! I didn't think I'd be able to hold on long enough, but look how tasty this would be. A juicy Burning Head through this line would do so much damage. I'm looking for help all around the battlefield. I have 7 Swords of Chaos, which is not much whatsoever. We do have 13 Chaos Knights, unfortunately get shot and shattered by the Dark Shards. And then there's only enemy troops all around. The Swords of Chaos will hopefully be able to shut down the Dark Shards, though. And our infantry, or our hero corps, is trying its best. We do actually manage to rout the Black Ark Corsairs, and we are just scrapping it right now, surrounded by enemies, and Archaon does a rampage. He's trying his best. He's slapping his sword left and right. I can't pop any of his buffs. I can't pop Slayer of Kings, and I can't use magic right now because of this rampage. So, Sisters of Sing and Doom, MVPs for sure from my opponent so far. Now, the Swords of Chaos are jumping on the Dark Shards, shutting them down, caving in heads with their burning swords, and roasting many of the Dark Elves alive. But we are holding. And this was the part my heart sunk, though. I finally got enough Winds of Magic for a Burning Head, and once again, the Sisters of Sing and Doom rampaged me so quickly after the last rampage, and I simply can't use my abilities. The Exalted Heroes are getting beat up. One of them is nigh on death's door. The other still just about going strong, and I'm aiming at Loke Felhart. I'm trying to drag him down as much as possible. Unfortunately for me, though, Archaon can't focus him because he is rampaged, so he's just fighting regular troops, just killing Dread Spears, having a whale of a time, I'm sure, but not fighting Loke Felhart is really bad news because one of the Exalted Heroes has now been dispatched. Although you see Archaon Everchosen, he shakes his head, he's out of his battle madness, and we do get the Burning Head, taking down Dread Spears, Dark Shards, Dark Riders, completely clearing out the entirety of Loke Felhart's support, and now the pointy-eared Princelin stands alone before the might of the Everchosen and the Exalted Hero, and I am coming for blood. I waited so long to pop that Burning Head, and it was the most clutch spell of all time, as Loke Felhart is really starting to struggle. All the Dark Elves just break. The burning damage really does not help them whatsoever. The Swords of Chaos are eventually able to shut down the Dark Shards and finish them off for good, though we are down to just 5 models, so it was a close scrap for sure. But Loke Felhart, his fell deeds will be forgotten. His ancestors will not remember him, or his future offspring will not remember him. They shall all be claimed by Chaos. Archaon, the Everchosen, fist pumps the air as he pulls out the clutch victory with the Burning Head. Everchosen, man, you are a champ. You're an absolute champ. 201 kills, over 20k damage dealt, 3,188 damage value. Just hats off to you, good sir. Hats off. That was so impressive. Awesome work there by the Everchosen. Well played to my opponent, though. He put up an absolute scrap. I would 100% recommend bringing a caster in the future, but hey, casters are for the weak. This was quick battles. It's the Wild West, baby. We do what we want here. And Loke Felhart as well. Not quite as impressive as the Everchosen, but still 1.5 damage value. Some early losses as well. Losing the Manticore, losing the Shades, losing the Dark Rise was all really bad news, but bringing it back, using that as a swarm of infantry and some beautiful Sisters of Sing and Doom play to drag this back to an even fight. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was certainly some wild stuff. If you did enjoy, before I delve into the damage dealt and kills and stuff, would really appreciate it if you dropped a sneaky little thumbs up, as well as a subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. Should be a load of links in the description to Twitch, Discord, Patreon, all that good standard YouTubey stuff, if you are into that type of thing. So, Archon the Ever-Chosen, 201 kills, 3,188 damage value, quite comfortably, I think, the MVP of the entire battlefield. Quite literally pulling a burning head out of his bum and dropping it on the enemy in the later stages of the game for glorious victory. Exalted Heroes, 880 damage value and 1,200, some of the best hero support characters in the game. Then with Market Corn is really nasty, and the flexibility being able to be on foot, horseback, or in the air is quite nice. I would normally recommend taking them in whatever form your lord is. You have a foot lord, bring foot Exalted Heroes. You have a lord on a horse like we did today, bring them on a horse. Flying lord, bring Manticores, pretty standard stuff. Marauders, they were brought to do a job. They did that job. They died very well. Not getting many kills and very low hundreds damage value. 140, 280, that kind of range, unfortunately. 392 damage value on Chaos Knights or Lancers isn't great. 472 also isn't great. But these swords of Chaos proving why they are the elite, why they are better than the regular ones. Well, they're not really in the meta, but lore-wise, 1,629 damage value, 82 kills. Very impressive work by them to not only shut down the Dark Shards in the later stages of the game, but also protect Archaon as long as they could. The Warhounds got 69 kills. These are dirty dogs, got 843 damage value. The other one, 816. The Warhound play was really nice. We managed to shut down quite a lot of the enemy skirmish. 630 damage value on Chaos Spawn. As for my opponent with Green over Loki Fellheart, the 9 kills isn't crazy, but 1.5k damage value, not bad. Dread Spears, not amazing. 600 value was the best for them. I quite like the pick of the Blackheart Corsairs though. 20 and 68 kills, 820 and 479 damage value. Sisters of Singing Doom were certainly MVPs, 1,161 damage value, and the Dark Shards, 911, 633, 861 damage value, not too shabby. Now the Shades did some work, 444 damage value. Luckily, I spotted them when I did, and I was just quite comfortable able to decapitate them. They certainly should have waited till the later stages of the battle to reveal themselves. Now, the Dark Riders, this unit got hunted down, only 77 value. The other one, though, 1,119, so certainly a tale of two different units. Manticore as well, I understand, like, chucking them in, kill those Marauders, they're already really weak, break them off the battlefield, but you need to get up in the sky way quicker. With so much mass around, it got surrounded and slaughtered. Wannabe Hydra got 1,129 damage value, so you're not doing too bad, doing some pretty good work on those Chaos Spawn and the characters who came to their aid. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.